I've never made that point. I have plenty of criticisms for AOC and Bernie Sanders and numerous other politicians that are aligned with me on some issues, but not aligned with me on others, or they don't go far enough in the way that I want to, in the way that I want them to. But like the idea that the idea that like these are the only targets of ire is so incredibly stupid. He said I was a Nazi for interviewing AOC and Bernie. I can't tell if people are just like, I can't tell if those people are personally like mentally ill and they're just like engaging in record behavior for free, or if they truly hold these convictions because they're mentally ill, or because they're mentally ill and you know, they're getting paid to do this or something. I don't understand it. Because there's purity checkers out there that just like genuinely feel like this conviction in their hearts. They just don't understand it. Like someone being like, you interviewed AOC and Bernie Sanders, you are a Nazi. Like you have to be out of your mind. You have to truly be an insane person. I should have never, what is this? Bad Empanada is correct about Hasan. I had to unsubscribe from Hasan after his rant last night. That was embarrassing as fuck. Well, you also sat down with people who have supported the genocide and gave them gifts. What the fuck? Oh, they're followed by Film the Police LA? No, this person is just an anarchist, I think. Like, that's probably what it is. This is just like a really sweaty person whose heart might be in the right, their overall mentality might be correct on the world, but like the targets that they pick are almost always going to be other people who are closest to them. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What? I'm a conservative, but I do not understand why other people call people Nazis for the simple fact of exercising their constitutional rights of free speech. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if they're exercising their constitutional right to free speech in a Nazi kind of way, then yeah, it's pretty valid. Please stop deflecting good faith criticism. What are you saying? What are you saying? None of this is good faith criticism. A lot of you are just simply babies. This is your first protest. This is your first movement that you've like joined in on, and you don't know anything. You're just like a rudderless, anchorless ship floating around. Shut up. What is happening today? What is going on? Stop glazing genocidal politicians then? No, dude, I'm not going to. I love genocidal politicians. I love the genocide. Okay, that's what it is. I'm just a fan. I can't tell if you guys are doing April Fools or not, but like, what do you want me to do? Spend every day talking about Bernie Sanders' liberal Zionism? I have covered it time and time again. I am critical of Bernie Sanders on this issue. I don't know why you guys want me to just exclusively. You know what, guys? Today, just like yesterday and the day prior, we're just only going to talk about Bernie Sanders, okay? Finally, the sweatiest, crustiest losers on the planet will maybe hopefully think, well, this guy is morally consistent and intellectually honest. Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut up. You're not doing advocacy. You're crying in a Twitch chat. You are crying in a Twitch chat. You are crying in a Twitch chat. You are not an activist. You're a loser, okay? Seriously. And if this is your worldview, if your worldview revolves around like almost exclusively yelling at a Twitch streamer who you know is aligned with your worldview, that is interviewing politicians, or at least is like close to politicians that are also infinitely closer to your worldview. I'm not even talking about Bernie Sanders at this point. I'm talking about AOC specifically, who people yell about all the time, but like she literally called it a genocide way before anybody else did. If your expectation is like those guys are actually in the wrong, if those politicians are the worst politicians in US Congress, you're stupid. You know? Well, to be honest, I'm not here all the time. Okay. What are you, a baby? Are you a child? Are you a child person? Are you a person with a childish brain? Okay. You don't know what I do in my free time. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have object permanence? Don't you think it's up to you to go and maybe perhaps see what my perspective is instead of assuming that there is a good faith criticism here? Why call me a loser? Because you're behaving like a loser. Be like, Go yell at Republicans instead. No, not even Republicans. There are hundreds of Democrats in positions of power that you could yell at. And this isn't to say that you should not criticize. This isn't to say that you should not criticize AOC at all, ever, that these politicians are infallible or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. I've never made that point. I have plenty of criticisms for AOC and Bernie Sanders and numerous other politicians that are aligned with me on some issues, but not aligned with me on others, or they don't go far enough in the way that I want to, in the way that I want them to. But like the idea that the idea that like these are the only targets of ire is so incredibly stupid. And this also in and of itself is incredibly stupid, you know? Anyway, I got baited. I'll admit I got baited by a stupid ass person. I'm gonna kick him out and just like delete my post. That's probably the most effective way to talk about. That's the most effective way to deal with this kind of shit, instead of just like taking it seriously and responding to it, because a lot of people don't actually want to learn anything. They don't want to genuinely have discourse. It's just more so just stirring shit up. But yes, why aren't you responding to my criticisms of you? I don't know, because they're invalid. Because your criticisms of me are that I'm circumcised, and that's not up to me. You're just reiterating the fact that I'm circumcised, and it's hurting my feelings. I wish I wasn't. Okay, they took that away from me, and you're out here reminding everybody that they stole something from me. You know what I mean? They chopped it up. They chopped my shit up. They took away my hoodie. It's out in the cold. You have to, you're Muslim. I don't care. Yeah. There are 8 House resolutions to block weapons to Israel. 14 members are on all 8. AOC, Greg Kazar, Garcia, Green, Jayapal, Johnson, Lee from Pennsylvania, Ilhan Omar, Pecan, Presley, Ramirez, Talib, Velasquez, and Watson Coleman. And hella dudes are only yelling at some of these people that are just in front of them. I'm sorry. If my point always is the same. If the rest of Congress resembled even Bernie Sanders' position, which is nowhere near as critical as like AOC and some of these other people's positions are, like Rashida Tlaib, obviously, that's not even my expectation. But like, even if the majority, the overwhelming majority of Congress demonstrated Bernie Sanders' attitude about Israel, a big chunk of this violence would never be initiated. And Bernie Sanders is not the best on this either. Like, that's the other thing. Like that, we need to move beyond that as well, for sure. But in the interim, you have to work with what you have at your disposal, the tools you have at your disposal. Yeah, Bernie, this is the House resolutions. Bernie's in the Senate. Bernie has also pushed for a Senate resolution to block weapons to Israel, ironically enough. Which Green that they're referring to? I think Al Green. But instead, you're in here yelling at a Twitch streamer who is a fairly prominent anti-Zionist, okay, who gets attacked all the time for his anti-Zionist positions, because of his collaboration with congresspersons who themselves are not anti-Zionist, obviously. That's not the case, but are infinitely closer to your position, to your worldview, than like 99.9% of Congress. It's stupid. That's it. You go out and build the tools, and I'll work with you too. You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand? Like, this is a tool. These are our public servants. Okay, they're supposed to represent our interests, and in that process, I am not shy about explaining to you that, like, I grade Congress on a curve, and in that situation, I have to look at like what the rest of Congress's attitude is on this issue, and these people are infinitely closer to you. These people are infinitely closer to you in their viewpoints. They're infinitely closer to you in comparison to the rest of Congress. The expectation is to move the rest of Congress to this trajectory and then move them further to the left. Anyway, How do you have conversations with these people without losing your shit? Very impressive. I have maintained a community of I've maintained a fairly large community of incredibly active and incredibly vocal leftists for the past 10 years, and especially on Twitch for the last, what, since 2018? For the last 7 years. So that's what it is. And I still lose my shit. It's impossible not to, right? It's freaking impossible not to. Anyway, this is just like, remember the tenet. Be normal. Be normal. I'm sure you can if you cultivate a different attitude. I mean, I have. That's why this community is the size that it is. And the broad majority of people in this community, are pretty forgiving and pretty empathetic and are guided by empathy first and foremost, and care about instilling class consciousness and developing solidarity with others. But then there's always going to be loud, brash, and oftentimes narcissistic people that may not even be doing like wrecker behavior, may not demonstrate wrecker behavior ideologically, but instead are doing it because they just want to be heard, you know? They want that sweet dopamine rush, that dopamine hit of streamer noticed me, streamer responded to me, I got something out of him. In any case, none of this matters, which is what's so funny about it. Like, people will be like, what is happening with my eyes? I can't see. I'm like losing my vision right now. What the hell? What do you say to someone who say compromising on morals and beliefs with Bernie and AOC is going to end up compromising with the Dems in the past? I'm not saying I think that, but it's a valid reason why people are reluctant to support Bernie. Okay, don't support him then. It's fine. I think he's going to be fine without the support of a bunch of like leftist TikTokers or whatever, or their communities. He's got fucking 34,000 people showing up to rallies. I'm sorry. He's got the motion. He's got the motion. He's got the momentum. That is the truth. All right, let's start with Luigi Mangione. Something strange is happening to me where I don't know what the fuck's going on. It feels like there's like blinding light in my eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell's going on. It's weird. It's odd. I shouldn't even be mentioning this. Spot migraine, but I don't have a migraine. My head doesn't hurt. I don't know what it is. I don't have a headache.